How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NFL Sunday Night Showdown preview show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, bringing you guys the Los Angeles Chargers versus the San Francisco 49ers in what will prove to be a shootout Sunday Night Football edition. We have a total of 45.5 with the San Francisco 49ers, a minus 7.5 point favorite. The Los Angeles Chargers, although they have a decent record of 5-3, they've won a lot of close games. They've won a lot of games where you thought to yourself they shouldn't have won that game. Kind of been the story for a lot of NFL teams this year, but more so the Chargers, where a couple of last-second field goals have carried that record. So I understand the favorite on this line here for San Francisco. And boy, did they look dangerous with Christian McCaffrey as their main running back in this offense. And I think for me, where we have the Los Angeles Chargers, having watched them closely throughout this year, really struggle against the run. So this could be a lot of Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Eli Mitchell, I believe, is going to be active for this one as well. Let's see where he's coming at with this. Yeah, Eli Mitchell, $300 on this slate, gonna be active. It's to be seen at how he'll stack up in this backfield. Christian McCaffrey is going to be lined up in multiple different formations. He's not going to be just running back. He's going to be kind of what Deebo Samuel does. He's going to line up at receiver. He's going to line up. I don't know if it's going to be like, the Browns, how they do Chubb and Hunt in the same backfield at the same time. But we could very well see Elijah Mitchell getting at least 5, 6, 7 carries, in a run-heavy offense, especially against a team that struggles against defending it. I still think Christian McCaffrey gets the predominant part of the run game, but $300, I don't think he's going to just go away in this offense. I think he's going to still have a hand in being involved. So yeah, why not take a shot on Elijah Mitchell? But I think your captain, it's got to be, McCaffrey. Eckler just continues to be the best player in fantasy this year, whether or not this team is up or this team is down. Eckler is going to get at least 7 to 10 targets. He's going to at least get, 10, 15 to 20 carries a game. Doesn't matter. He's always going to be involved in this offense. He is the main fixture of this offense. Josh Palmer going to be the number one wide receiver today. It's going to be tougher against this 49ers secondary. Ayuk going to be the deep threat for San Francisco, but I think a lot of this is going to be on the ground. So for me, I really like McCaffrey in that captain spot. And then I don't mind skipping over someone like Herbert. As you can see throughout the year this year, he's really struggled in the fantasy points department. Highest he's gone is 24 versus Houston. 27 versus KC. But since that injury that we saw him take a shot in that KC game with them ribs, 24 was his highest points total, and it was against the lowly Houston Texans. Just not really getting it done fantasy-wise. So I would favor Eckler. Get these do-it-all backs that catch passes and run goal line touches. They get all the work. I don't mind both of those in the same lineup. I think Deebo's kind of cheap here, but he's really an efficiency guy. It's not really about volume for him. He's not going to get many targets. He's not going to get many runs now that we're going to see Christian McCaffrey take that role in the offense. So really, it's all about touchdowns with Deebo. So I think you can easily kind of skip over him and then jump down to Josh Palmer. I think for Palmer, it's going to be about volume, as we saw here in the 2 games without Mike Williams, 10 targets, 12 targets, still no Keenan Allen as well. So I don't mind taking shots on someone like DeAndre Carter. Someone that's going to get a lot of, going to be like 6 for 40 yards, but that's still 10 points. And you're going to take that in a single game showdown matchup. I do favor the 49ers in this game to win. It's going to be interesting to see if Isaiah Spiller gets any carries for the backup Los Angeles Chargers running back spot. I understand why the 49ers D is priced up because they do get a lot of sacks. I think they're going to be heavily involved here. But realistically, I think this is going to be a lot of field goals. So I'm going to go with Robbie Gould here. It's going to leave you 4K. And even with Hopkins out, we've seen that these Charger kickers have kind of come through, no matter if it was Amendola, this Dicker guy, or Hopkins when he was hurt. They kind of all are involved here. I do think there is someone worth a shot here in the passing game. Michael Bandy. He had 8 targets, 5 catches, only 26 yards, but he got a lot of targets. As we talked about, this Los Angeles Chargers team still without Mike Williams. Parham still out, so I still think you can go with Gerald Everett, but I think this is a really tough matchup versus San Francisco. But a lot of underneath routes in this matchup. So if you wanted to just swap out DeAndre Carter and think, okay, Everett's going to be my guy to catch a lot of those underneath routes, that leaves me with 32. Then you take a shot on someone like Bandy, Juszczyk. You leave that salary, and I think that makes for a really strong, compelling argument for your lineups. And if you wanted to reverse the roles and say, hey, I think the Chargers are going to win, and I think it's going to be on the back of Eckler, I still want McCaffrey in my lineup. I'm still going to go with those Chargers in my lineup. Here you go. You got 3,400. Look, you can even make it like the Chargers defense just gets to Garoppolo all day, right? Or you can even switch it up here, get rid of Everett, and go with someone like Carter that gave you 1,000 in salary. You can go back to your kicker here. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about building your lineups in this matchup. I preferably take the 2 running backs that do it all. Anything contrarian in this showdown format is going to go with Herbert, Garoppolo involved. I don't think many people think that those guys are going to be a part of the winning lineups, especially since they haven't scored many fantasy points on the year. And I think people are going to be more reluctant to take defenses and kickers in this matchup. So yeah, that's going to wrap things up. Like this video, comment below. Actually, real quick, I just mentioned I didn't talk about George Kittle at all. Yeah, Juszczyk being back, he's going to be maybe more involved in the passing game, but Derwin James lives on the other side of the ball here for the Chargers, and I don't like testing Derwin James in that matchup. And Kittle does a lot of blocking already, and I think with a run-heavy format for this game, it's going to be a pass for me on Kittle. Okay, now that'll wrap things up. All right. Thank you for listening in. Like this video, comment below with any questions you have. You can follow me on Twitter at TKNation47 or on my website, fsidfs.com, or on our Twitter handle, FSI_DFS. Thanks, guys. Enjoy Sunday Night Football in San Francisco.